guys, what's going on? It's your girl V, and welcome to Dating Chronicles. Oh my gosh, y'all. So many stories, so little time. I try and keep these short because I know everybody has like a short attention span and don't nobody have time to be like on YouTube all day long. But there's just so many stories. This week I want to talk about B. I met B on POF. I met him on POF, y'all. That's where I met them all. Not all, but 90%. B was fine, y'all. Like, he was fine. He was like this. Oh, I'm being attacked. He was this tall, light skinned. Like, I mean, that was my type. That was always my type. It's always been my type. When I try to veer away from that, I always ended up back to that. Just tall and light skin and fine. Like, be fine. And that's really all you need. But he was cool. Like, he made me laugh. They all had the recipe. You know, I'm attracted to the same dude, different face, apparently. He was a different type of dude. I never met nobody like him before. And I was just like really feeling him. You know, I met him on POF and we talked. And at that time, I lived in Frederick, Maryland. So this was probably 2014. Yeah, 2014. And a coworker of mine wanted to go to the wine festival. So I'm like, dope, like, let's go. This will be my first time. I've never been to a wine festival before. I'm excited. If y'all haven't been to a wine festival in Maryland, I mean, I don't know if there will ever be another wine festival again because of this COVID shit, but them things was lit. And this wasn't Linganore. This was Wine in the Woods. So it was this huge wooded, like woods. It was woods, but trees were cut down and stuff so you could walk and everything. And wine vendors just everywhere, just stages and bands and music and food. And it was just everything. So I went, you know, I drove myself and I told him that's where we were. He bought our tickets. So I was like, okay, well, he's definitely coming. He got our tickets. We got there, me and my coworker and a few of her homegirls, and we were just chilling and vibing out. A couple hours went past, and I started to get worried. Like, damn, am I being stood up? Like, what is happening? But he ended up showing up, and he showed up, and I was so excited because everybody had dudes with him, and I was like the only one that didn't have like somebody. So I was happy as hell that he showed up. And when he came, we were like stuck to each other. Like, it was like we couldn't stop kissing. And I don't do PDA, but I was doing PDA that day because it was wine and I was drunk. We were at Wine in the Woods. Like, that's what you do. You do what you want to do. So I wanted to kiss him all damn day, and that's what I did. So that's what we did. And it was very fun. I remember us leaving or getting ready to leave, and he grabbed me and pulled me to the side and just like started kissing me all crazy, and it was like dope. And these white dudes was like, get a broom. And I didn't give a fuck. Like, I was enjoying myself. But then when we got into the go-karts, because you have to get into a go-kart to go up the hill. Like, you don't have to, but it is an option, and that's what we did, is get into a go-kart. When he went to get into the go-kart, I noticed that he had an ankle monitor on. And I was like, are you on house arrest? He was like, yeah, I'm on house arrest. And I was like, oh, why didn't you tell me this before? How are you even here right now? And he was just like, oh, I have, I don't know, whatever the fuck they call it. They're allowed out for a certain amount of time or whatever. So at that time, I just left it at that because I was, like I said, I was drunk and I just didn't have the energy to get into it. So, you know, we kept talking and, you know, eventually I'm like, okay, so what's the deal? Like, you're on house arrest. What's happening? Like, what's your case about? And he told me that he was in jail for 10 years for murder. And instantly I'm like, oh my God, this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. I was just like, what? He's like, yeah, I just got out. I just got out like last year, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I'm innocent, but I spent 10 years in jail, and I just got out, and I'm on house arrest. And I was just like, so you're innocent. You didn't murder anybody. And he was like, no, I ain't murder nobody. Like, it was mistaken identity. And I spent 10 years of my life in jail. So, he was talking about that. And I was just like, damn, that's fucked up. Like, at first I didn't really believe it. Because I'm like, really, dude, you didn't do it. Like, you didn't do it. Like, but I Googled his story and he wasn't lying. Like, he had like a whole fucking case going on with the state of, I think it was West Virginia, that he was arrested there for a murder on like campus or something like that. I will give y'all his information, but I really don't want to tie anybody's name to these stories. But yeah, so he's like, I have a lawsuit for $10 million right now pending. So, whenever my case is over, I'm going to be a free man and I'm going to be rich as fuck. I didn't even know. Like, I was just like, oh my God, wow. Like, are you serious? 10 million though? Like, wow. Like, yeah, $1 million for every year that they kept me in jail for a crime I didn't commit. So, we started to vibe and we started to get to know each other. He lived in DC. He invited me over his house. I went to his house. He had a very nice house. He lived alone. And it was just a cool vibe. Like, I could tell, like, he was like a really good person. There was really nothing about him that screamed murder. So I just, I went to his house. I lived in Frederick and I drove all the way to DC. Like, I was a driving somebody, y'all. I stayed, like, if you invited me and I felt like you was legit, I was coming. Like, that's what it was. We had wine and we just listened to some music on his patio. And then we went inside and we had sex. And it wasn't the best. I was highly disappointed because I was expecting so much more. Like, I was like, this is it. The fuck? And it was like one of those dicks that I don't like. Like, it was like one of them lean over curved ones, but it wasn't even like big. It wasn't small, but it was just not what I was into. I don't like curved penises. This is just, I don't like that. And so after that, I got dressed and I went home. I didn't really have any like expectations. I didn't really want anything from there because the sex was just not what I was hoping for. I was just disappointed, other than the fact that he was fine as fuck and he had like a big ass check coming to him at any time. That wasn't enough for me. I didn't care about that. Like, if I'm not satisfied in the bedroom, I don't want to stick around for anything else. There's really nothing else. I'm not going to waste your time or mine. And so I left. He reached out to me after that and said he wanted to see me. And so I was like, come through. So he came to Frederick. He's like, I got some extra time on my day, on my day pass, and I'm gonna come through. Came to my apartment and we was kicking it, and then shit just was weird. Like, the vibe was off. It wasn't the same. He was very friends vibes. Like, it just became very friendly. Like, it was like, I don't even feel sexual chemistry with you no more. Like, there's nothing there. And he wasn't giving off those vibes either. So I didn't know what he wanted. I didn't know why he was there because it wasn't nothing popping off. We went and we got something to eat and then he went home. And that was it. I really don't know what that was about. It was the most strange encounter. Like, did I give you, like, I don't know, but it just didn't go anywhere. It was very pointless. And, that was just another encounter that I had in my dating experiences. Another notch to add to the Dating Chronicles checklist. But you know, I did look him up, just to see how his case went, and he won. He won. He is now, um, like, I don't want to say he's a professor, but he's like a motivational speaker to students. He goes to all these different schools and colleges on how, to live and what he went through. And, he definitely got that bag. He's married. His wife is adorable. Yeah, so I mean, kudos to him. And I'm so glad that it worked out for him, for somebody else, because that dick definitely wasn't for me. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you next week.